Good evening, Home Care Biz Advisors family. It's another wonderful and a blessing to be here this evening and being here again with my one and only, I'm going to just call you Pat. I'm not going to do the whole Patricia thing.
Of course. Of
Yeah,
course.
who has been with us in past segments and has been talking to us about dressing for success. I am so excited, continue to be excited about the information that you unravel and share with us. Pat's position in marketing, in home care, in assisted living, in public speaking is just an all-rounder. And I'm just, again, just so thankful and so grateful that you're here with us, Pat.
Well, thank you. Thank you again for allowing me to spend this time with you all. And I think it's just a great opportunity for us all to get together and share the information. It's an information of wealth, right? When we die, we
Absolutely.
don't want to take information with us. We want to leave things behind for other people to utilize. And so I'm just so excited to be here. I'm excited about healthcare altogether. With this COVID that we've been dealing with for the last year, a year or so, life is starting to change and we're getting back to some type
Absolutely.
of normalcy. And now businesses are starting to flow. I'm now meeting more new home care agencies that are knocking at my door.
So
With my
you're the lady to be in.
absolutely,
You're the lady
absolutely,
to speak to.
yes.
And guys, and I have had those who are out there in GA, most definitely want to be able to connect you with Pat at some point. But today, let's talk about today. Today
Yes.
we are continuing our Dress for Success series, and we're going into the mode of communication. So some people are going to think, okay, so communication, what's that got to do with dressing for success? Okay, communication, what does that mean, right? Verbal or nonverbal communication. So how you dress sits into that category of nonverbal communication. Pat, take it away with communication in how we dress.
Okay. So let me just say this. I'm going to start off with an example, but it's a real true life example. And it actually just happened to me on last week. We had quite a bit of rain here in Atlanta. And I had seen someone coming up the walkway, and I knew that they were coming to solicit, and they had a couple of things in their hand. And I really did not want to see that person. I didn't want to speak to them, but my receptionist was like, you know what? This person has been here several times. Do you have a moment? I looked at him and I thought, I really don't want to deal with him because he looked like he was not well put together.
Mm,
Therefore, I assumed just by his nonverbal stance and what he had on that he really truly wasn't
put
equipped.
together.
He didn't
Hmm.
have all of his armor on, but you know what? Something inside of me said, you know what? It's raining. Let's see what he has to say. So of course you say the same old thing. My name is so and so, and we're a new home care agency listed wherever they're listed. It's almost like he was reading a script and he was not giving me eye contact at all. He was dropping the items that he had, and I'm thinking, I don't want to work for a company that sends someone out here not put together. And again, it means a lot. First impressions are everything, at least to me. So if you're coming to me and you're looking for business opportunities, then you need to present yourself as such.
Right, right, and again, it comes from the fact of communication coming in different forms, right? It's not just the verbal; it is the non-verbal side of things. So I totally hear what you're saying, and we have some slides that we want to pull up onto the screen, and we're going to talk through this dressing for success and communication by looking at some of these slides and being able to respond to those. So let's get those slides up on the screen. So here is my Patricia dressing for success, and
Dressing for success.
she's communicating to me just by what she is wearing that she is ready. She's confident. I'm cool, calm, and collected. So Pat, I'm going to take it over to you just to give some explanation about these slides and what these outfits are actually saying to us.
Okay. So that outfit there, I was going to a business meeting that morning. And so I'm always thinking about who am I presenting to Why am I presenting to them? And how am I going to do that? So we talked a little bit before about communication. There's that nonverbal communication, and then there's verbal. If you look at this photo, non-verbally, I say that I am sharp. Non-verbally, I say that I am confident. Non-verbally, I say that I am ready for the business of the day. And why do you say that? If you look at my stance, if you look at my eyes, even if you look at my hands, I'm saying that I'm ready, that I can address anything that may come my way. And that's the nonverbal. Now, once I open my mouth, yes, I'm talking, but am I communicating? Now, I do find that a lot that people assume because they are speaking that they are communicating, and that is not necessarily so.
And I totally agree with you, Pat,
Thank
is that,
you.
we can most definitely just continue talking. And it's like, like you said, having that script, right? And it's not that you're feeling confident about what you're delivering. And it is so important for our owners here to really take stock in what we are trying to say. We're not here trying to just to say it for the sake of saying it. We're not here on this broadcast
Absolutely.
this evening just for the sake of being on this broadcast. We are truly giving you some tips of the industry. Okay, there's 1,001 other agencies coming right behind you. Be prepared. Do not be in a rush to go out there and then figure out that you are ill-equipped. So let's take a look at that second slide. So Pat, let me point this over to you again.
When I look at that, actually, first thing I see is team. That's a team. Even they have not spoken a word, but because of the way they are dressed, okay, they're very professionally dressed, even to the way that they stand. They're looking at or towards one another. That shows me that there is conformity, right? Right? There is structure. So a lot of times when you see this and you look at the business attire, and when you look at the nonverbal, when you look at the stance, when you look at the gesture, the eye contact, those are all the things that people want to see. If you want something from me, I need you to look at me. If you're not looking at me, then you're not paying attention to me. You're already thinking or coming up with an answer about a question that you think I'm going to answer you. So a lot of times that communication is huge. In order to communicate, you have got to listen before you speak.
Right. And I see from this image, just intensity. It shows
Mhm.
interest, and again, the nonverbal side of communication is about how you stand, how you carry yourself. And this is what I see from this. So I'm going to ask this question and see how you feel about this, Pat. Can we be like overdressed? Can we be over professional? Can we just be so stiff? I'll use that term, that it has an adverse effect also.
I would say absolutely yes. And let's just give an example about that. Now, if you're going to a facility and it is truly, truly professional, blue, slacks, vest, tie, white shirt, and then you're going in, let's say, you've got on the suit, you've got on the jacket, you've got on the patent leather shoes, you've got on the hat and the gloves. If you're going to a place that does not call for that, right, the looks that you're going to get is not going to be welcoming, right? So you also need to study your product, right? Who are you selling, or who are you focusing on, right? And then decide what the course of the day is going to be. What am I going to wear? And again, remember, what you wear says a lot about you before you open your mouth. So you got
Right.
to know who you are marketing to, because there are lots of casual places, right, that run professionally, but dress wise, they are casual. So
Sure.
yes, it can make a huge impact if you're not prepared. That goes back to being prepared.
Perfect answer, Pat. So let's go on to our next slide, because again, this has given us a little bit of controversy in terms of, the look, etc. And I know that we've had some of our guests who have also talked about, okay, well, we always talk about, the female dressing and, the handbag and the pocketbook and the heels and this and what kind of height heels to have. What about the guys, right? So just throwing a little bit in here is the dressing for success for communication. And what does this communicate to you for the guys?
Well, that to me, that's probably a dress down Friday, right? It looks like someone who's definitely very confident. He's confident in his stance. The first thing I do when I look at a man, I always look at his feet, right? So if you have on shoes, I'm telling you the truth. So you look at the feet. If you don't have on a good pair of shoes, to me, that speaks volume. Anything else we can work on, but if you do not have on a good pair of shoes, I'm going to overlook you. I'm just going to overlook you because that tells me you don't care enough for first impressions. And for a man, shoes cost more, clothes cost more. So let's start with a good pair of shoes and typically let them be black.
Right,
so thanks
right.
for including us gents today. You're welcome.
He had to get that in there, right, Pat? Like,
You're welcome.
We're presenting here.
Yes.
Right. And yes, you're absolutely right. Is that, this does give me the dress down Friday type feel. But again, it's still non-verbally. It's still saying to me, I am confident, right? Yes. I can say so very much in just how I look, as opposed to actually having to have that conversation. So let's go on to the next slide.
Wow.
All right. Big question. Yes, big question. Why dressing for success works? Pat, why does dressing for success work?
Let me share something with you. Years and years ago, right? I had a job that didn't pay well, but I watched a mentor, right, in this job. And I said, I want to look like that. What was that?
Was that me?
Not at that time. Not at that time. You caught me there.
Yes.
And she was an administrator in a nursing home, and she would get out of her car and she looked like $1 million, right? She looked like she could have worked on Wall Street, right?
Right.
And so I thought, you know what? She commanded such attention and respect. When she walked into the building, she got respect. So I thought, you know what? I want to be like that. So I began to dress for the job that I wanted, not for the job that I had. But I gotta say, it said and it spoke volumes, and it helped me to be where I am today. I don't know if you've ever heard that thing where it says "fake it until you make it."
Yes.
Sometimes you can fake it until you make it, but if you can put on a nice suit and have the personality and the whereabouts for that suit, you can fake it till you make it.
Absolutely. And and we have covered this in prior segments, Pat, that it doesn't
as well, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. He's all into our conversation, right?
I like that, Stanford.
But and we had looked at the pricing, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be that, oh my God, I've got to have the red bottom shoes and I've got to have all of those, label brands and so forth and what have you. Because again, if you don't carry it well, what is the point?
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work anyway, right? No. My mother used to say to me, oh, well, you can just wear a plastic bag and still look good, right? And I'm like, okay.
Well, to mom I can, but not to the real world.
And not to the real world, exactly. Let's move on to the next slide that we have.
Yes.
Another male figure that we have here. And again, what is this telling us?
Wow, that is tells me that that's someone who has confidence, right? Who is very sure of himself. And also a dress down, probably Friday type of attire. But if you look at him from head to toe, he's well put together. He hasn't said a word. Even the smile that is on his face, the smile is welcoming, right? So it says, I'm approachable.
Right.
A lot of times people come to solicit you. They don't even know they're not approachable. There's no smile. It's just robotic, right? And so this says something totally different. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to provide you with something. I'm open, but I'm knowledgeable and I am strong and confident.
But
That's what that says.
don't you think though, Pat, that, you know, we have this preconceived or misconception that when we are in a professional environment, we have to have this a stoic appearance. That's a stoic look, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that I've been at conferences and boardrooms and this, that, and I'm just me. I'm hanging on the
like
chair.
You and I, when we were together, like we just did what we did.
We just did what we did.
Worked. It worked
but it
because
worked.
that's who we were. I don't
Right.
think you can pretend to be something or someone you're not, because eventually it's
going to come out. Absolutely. So, and again, for everybody that is listening, is that, again, you know, be you, you know, it doesn't have to be, although that you're in a professional environment, it does not necessarily command and dictate for you to have a different persona, a different personality. Your personality has got to come through. People have got to get to know who you are, right? That's how the relationships get formed, is really getting to know you. And yeah, look, you know, there's that fine line in what I should do and what I shouldn't do and what I can do. So just be aware of that, but still be you. Be you. Alrighty then. We're going to be wrapping up, and let's go on to that last slide, because there's a final statement that we have here for Miss Pat. Closing remarks from you, Pat. You are as good as you feel. As our motivational speaker, as somebody who I've known for so many years and who has crossed so many rocks that are on fire, has swam through many oceans, and you are still here smiling, and you are still here getting it, and you are still here doing it. You are as good as you feel. So give us your closing remarks for our owners that are out here today.
Yes, ladies. And I know that there are men out there too, so this is for you. Always, no matter what is going on in your home, inside your heart, you always got to give everything that you have. Be who you are, but you have got to smile. You have got to let God come out of you. And I know that, you know, that's a touchy subject, but I know if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am. What things that have happened in my life, I shouldn't even be sitting here speaking with you. But God has been wonderful to me. And so therefore, I don't have any complaints. I shine. No matter what, I shine. I've got to be Pat. I've got to be real. Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one ever will. It'll be surface. So I always tell people, what you get is what you see from me. I am very transparent to tell you that. I love from the depths of my heart. I do. I value the job that I do. I care about the residents that their families insure me to. And I believe it shows in everything that I do. You have got to make sure that you are genuine. Whatever that genuine is, it has got to exude out of you each and every day.
Pat, you just always know how to shut me up.
I don't know. That takes a lot.
I know, right? I thank you so very much. And we are going to be continuing this series on dressing for success. Our next session is going to be on consistency. I just had to make sure that it was the right one. So consistency is going to be our next segment with Pat Mobley, right out there in the big ATL, and joining us in terms of how do we dress for success, and making sure that we are continuing to do that, right? So as always, I value you. I appreciate you. I love you. For all of our owners out there, please reach out if you have any questions. Stay confident in what you're doing. Take the information that we have given to you today and work on it. Work on it. Some of us are not always, don't have that as our DNA, that they can be outgoing and they can be talkative. So again, we're talking about nonverbal and verbal. Maybe use the nonverbal size of who you are to take you 80% to the finishing line.
Absolutely.
With that, guys, I'm going to say I love you, and we will talk again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Pat.